Hi there, Damien here, public speaking and performance coach, bringing you public speaking tips, helping you overcome public speaking nerves or anxiety. Do you, when you are giving a speech, put yourself in the position of the person listening? In my previous videos, I've been speaking a lot about service, how your speech can be looked at as an act of service, and by asking a few fundamental questions about how you can serve the audience, it can really help not only with public speaking nerves, but in structuring and feeling more confident about your speech or your presentation. Unfortunately, for many speakers, they don't put themselves in the position of the audience member. For example, do you like being sat and talked to for an hour with no visuals, with somebody going on and on, the sound of their voice, maybe talking and skipping from topic to topic? Does that hold your interest? Then why would you think as a presenter that would hold somebody else's interest? If you don't like to sit through long, boring speeches where there's no interaction, there's no chance of questions, maybe it's quite monotone, then chances are your audience are not going to like it either. So one of the quickest ways to improve your public speaking abilities is just to think of yourself as being that audience member you were speaking to. Now let's say you've got a presentation to give. You've written it out, you know what you're going to say, it's about something in your company or something at work, or maybe it's a presentation for an end of year exam at college. Now as you go through this presentation, be honest with yourself. Which parts of the presentation do you find boring? Because if you find that part boring, chances are your audience members are going to find it boring as well. Which part of the presentation do you find confusing? Chances are your audience members are going to become confused at that part as well. Is there something you need to clarify? They probably appreciate that you clarify something that you yourself think, oh, does that come across? In other words, don't take it for granted that your audience members will just be able to overlook things because you think, oh, they'll just overlook that. Assume they won't be able to. Assume that they have exactly the same level of focus and attention as you. If you need visuals, if you need stimulation, if you need things to be broken up, they will very much appreciate that. Now, the best speakers in the world know this instinctively. They put themselves in other people's point of view, and they know that they wouldn't like to listen to this particular way of conveying information, so they don't convey it in that way. The best speakers know that humour is what makes them interested, so they insert humour into their speech. All of these people don't necessarily think and sit down and make a list of all the ways in which they can engage the audience. They just know that they don't like being bored, they don't like being disengaged, and so they don't inflict that on their audience. Now, have a think to the most effective speakers you can think of. One good example of this is stand-up comedians. Now, there are some fantastic stand-up comedians out there with a wide range of material. Now, what you will find with stand-up comedians, and this has been said by many of them, is that they take ideas that you maybe also have thought of, and they develop those ideas. In other words, they put themselves in the audience's position, and then they just explain the idea further, and they put a humorous slant on it. You then listen to the joke, and you think, that's so true, and that's why you start laughing. You start laughing because you can relate to what they're saying. Oh yeah, I've thought that. I've never, really thought it through, but that's so true. The same can be said with a public speaking or performing event. Put yourself in the audience's position. So they may have thought about the material that you're presenting, but they probably haven't thought about it in as much detail as you're going to present it. How can you then make the audience relate to this in a different way? How would you like somebody to explain it to you? How would you like somebody to explain your speech or your presentation to you if you didn't understand this material, if it was very hard for you? These are all valuable tips that will help you with your public speaking event, your confidence, and your ability to connect with an audience. So try that. Next time you're going to give a speech or a presentation, as you write it, as you read it and prepare, ask yourself, if I were in the audience, how would I feel about each part of my speech? Okay, ask yourself that question. And just be honest with yourself. It's okay to say, this part of my speech drags. This is brutally, you just be brutally honest. This is too long. This is boring. I'm not getting what I want across here. I can't assume they're just going to be able to understand. And those people that approach speaking and talking in public that are the very best speakers and teachers in the world. And you can be one of them. Stay tuned for more tips. Please like and subscribe the video. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you again soon. Take care.